Organize inaugural Science and Innovation Awards to recognize outstanding innovators to support their realization. This competition is to be conducted in this Innovation Week, started today, the 2nd to the 9th of November.
Economy. The award in this category will go to innovators with innovations targeting disease control and management. The innovations include vaccines, drugs or therapeutics, as we call them, diagnostics. The engineering is aims at recognizing innovators with technology-related innovations in renewable energy. Gender mobility. These awards recognize innovations that augment the national mobility ecosystem.
This Science and Innovation Week will be utilized to create awareness by scientific think tanks about the frameworks in place to make sure science is catalyzed. Patricia Lukoma, UBC News.
In a new development, effective 5th November 2021, all arriving passengers at Entebbe Airport will be allowed to go home after testing and self-isolate until they receive results. Previously, all arriving passengers were required to camp at the airport as they await their results, but according to the Health Minister, Jane Rotha Cheng, this has been revised. She was updating Parliament on government's new measures at airport to curb the spread of COVID-19.
Today in our meeting, after having reviewed all the available information and noted that out of the 7,363 people tested, in 5 days, 34 tested positive. We resolved as follows. We shall allow travelers to go home and self-isolate after a sample has been removed. NITA-U will develop a tracking system within 2 days, that is tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, and make it available for tracking the on average 5 cases per day. Travelers will be required to provide adequate information for easy traceability. So from the 5th of November, travelers will be allowed to go home after testing. The ministry will strengthen the surveillance system and follow up of all the identified positive cases. In conclusion, allow me to appreciate the teams working at the airport, to appreciate those who have provided information, and to state clearly that we regret the inconvenience that has happened to the travelers. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
The Katikiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Maiga, has warned people with allegations on COVID vaccine to stop and accept and get vaccinated. He was launching mass COVID-19 vaccination organized by the Kingdom and its partners that is to take place on Saturday and Sunday this week at Mpango.
As a move to control the spread of COVID-19 in Uganda, Buganda Kingdom and partners have launched a 2-day massive COVID-19 vaccination drive at Mpango on 6th and 7th of November. Katikiro Maiga launched the initiative and warned persons with a negative attitude on the COVID-19 vaccine.
But I want to assure you that I've got information from the medical experts that the vaccinations, Pfizer or AstraZeneca and the others, are safe. They are not going to make us sterile. They are not going to injure our health in any way.
Maiga pointed out prominent leaders that have accepted to be vaccinated, and he requested people to go and get vaccinated.
It's for that reason that the Kabaka was vaccinated in public, together with the Nabagereka. I also got vaccinated here in the gardens of Bulange to assure the public, after being reassured by the medical experts, that the vaccinations are safe. So on the 6th and 7th of November, we call upon members of the public to come here to get vaccinated. There are no charges for that vaccination.
Buganda Kingdom Health Minister, Dr. Prosperous Nanshindu Kavuma, pledges to continue to work with partners.
Nti bannamikago bano mulimu abazze ku nsonga y'okugema ate n'abazze ku nsonga y'okutuwa masks ezimu ku nkola enkulu ebbiri ezituyamba okulwanyisa COVID-19.
On behalf of partners, Jackie Atakaniziwa from Uganda Breweries says in this 2-day mass vaccination, together with the Kingdom, they are targeting 30,000 people.
We're thinking that probably the first day we will have about 15,000 people hoping, and we are looking forward to that. And then on the second day, we'll also have about 15,000 people.
They also handed over 10,000 masks for distribution. Noah Sasra Isabella, Sebira Andrew, UBC News.
Prime Minister Robina Nabanja has reiterated that she is doing her role very well as a leader of government business as mandated by the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda under Article 108. Nabanja was responding to journalists at Parliament after a leaked letter in social media signed by Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees Hilary Onek, accusing Nabanja of usurping his powers. The letter shows that Minister Onek could resign.
In a letter dated October 29, 2021, Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees Hilary Onek says he will resign because the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja has usurped all roles of his office. Onek added that Nabanja has also purged the Department of Disaster Management, taken over the distribution of relief items, and caused interdiction of staff members without investigation. But the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja told journalists at Parliament that her office had not received the letter except on social media.
I have not seen the letter. If the minister decided to address me in social media, that is different. It is indiscipline. My office and his are near each other. We have had a number of meetings. Sometimes he doesn't attend. Even today he did not attend.
Nabanja clarified that laziness will not be tolerated in her term of office.
I want members to appreciate that we are changing the mode of how we operate. The other day you saw me with the First Lady trying to... The other day I was with the Minister of Health when we were handling mandatory testing. I've been to Mulago Hospital to see that our people get the best. And I think I'm doing very well when it comes to my roles. And I know my boundaries.
Nevertheless, the legislators want the two ministers to respect each other's roles.
If you are going to donate anything in relation to disaster, you inform them, at least such that they can also make their own contribution. The contribution may not be necessarily physical.
The Prime Minister needs to know clearly what her roles are and what the roles of the other ministers are.
Therefore, all these others in the ministry are doing their work in support of the Prime Minister. You know, she's the one with that general mandate. So they just need to support. They just need to support her, other than just complaining. You know,
that we shall not allow laziness.
Bernard Yiga, Parliament.
Now, Cabinet will in 2 weeks present the Uganda Human Donation and Tissue Transplant Bill 2020 before Parliament. The bill will criminalize commercialization of human organ tissues and cells. Minister for ICT Chris Beriomonsi addressed the media today on Cabinet decisions at Media Centre, Kampala.
Cabinet has passed the Uganda Human Donation and Tissue Transplant Bill 2020 to provide for donating and transplantation of body organs, tissues and cells.
Because we don't have a standalone legislation that looks at those issues.
The law will regulate the removal, storage and transportation of human organs, tissues and cells for therapeutical purposes. It will lead to the establishment of the Uganda Organ Transplant Council, mandated to guide medical personnel. The law will be basis to identify designation hospitals and transplant centers.
In the law, we are providing for which hospitals shall we designate as health facilities where organ transplant can be carried out.
The Uganda Human Donation and Tissue Transplant Bill 2020 will criminalize illegal dealing in human organs, tissues and cells.
In other words, we are making it illegal for people to deal in the business or trade of human organs, tissues and cells.
On the other hand, government has constituted a committee to work with local leaders in northern Uganda to have herdsmen operating illegally on people's land vacated. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kampala.
Now, higher institutions of learning reopened for physical classes in a staggered manner in order to comply with standard operating procedures for COVID-19, especially maintaining social distance. Vice Chancellor Makerere University Barnabas Nawangwe said they have come out with a program that will see students appear for physical classes and also attend online lectures during this second semester.
Higher institutions of learning were busy at the opening on November 1st as students turned up to start attending physical classes. At Makerere University, the Vice Chancellor Barnabas Nawangwe said that they are receiving students in staggered manner to observe standard operating procedures. On the first day of reopening, Makerere University received all graduate students, final year undergraduate students and first year undergraduate students. The graduate and final year undergraduate will physically start for 2 weeks and sit examinations because they have been studying online since August.
We are going to study physically for 2 weeks and then sit examinations. Remember that they have been studying since August. So they are not just coming to study for 2 weeks. They have been studying for about 3 weeks online. Now they have opportunity to study for 2 weeks physically, and that will cover things like the practicals, those who have got laboratory practicals and such things, and also for the lecturers to be able maybe to explain some concepts that students may not have understood during the online.
First year students being received will study for 1 month and return home on 24th December to continue studying online. After the graduate and final year undergraduate students leave, the university will on 27th November receive the rest of all continuing students like those in second year who will study until 24th December.
All the second year and other continuing students will come here on 27th. They will study until 24th December. They go away for a small recess on 3rd January. The first years and the second years and other continuing students will come back and sit examinations for 2 weeks. Then we have about 2 weeks of those who need recess term and such things. We use those 2 weeks, and then immediately after that we start the new academic year.
Unlike other universities which have lost the whole 2 years, Makerere lost only 6 months.
Actually, we were not stopped from doing research. While the university was closed for teaching and so on, research continued. The government actually continued giving us money for research. And you remember, at the height of COVID, there were so many innovations coming out of Makerere regarding COVID-19. But apart from that, for the first time, our number of research publications crossed 1,000 mark per year.
The time for starting evening lectures has also been adjusted to comply to curfew time. I'm Nafka Farida in Kampala.
Now, in Arua, students and parents in West Nile have welcomed reopening of institutions of higher learning after 78 weeks of lockdown. Many students, together with their parents, are at pick-up points in Arua City. Well, we apologize, we do not have that story yet, but we will be bringing that update in a subsequent bulletin. Now, as we move over to Parliament, a section of members of Parliament has called for investigations into social media blackmail against Deputy Speaker Anita Monge. Dokolo District Women Member of Parliament, Cecilia Ogwal, says an attack on the Deputy Speaker translates into an attack on all women.
Therefore, be it resolved as follows.
Shortly after moving,
that Parliament collectively conveys its deepest condolences,
debating and passing a motion.
She was a member of Parliament but still kneeled for the husband.
To honor fallen first woman Ugandan Member of Parliament, Florence Lubega.
Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary, no. The ayes have it.
This matter was raised.
We must speak out as women, we must speak out as leaders of this country, whether you are a man or a woman. The institution of Parliament cannot be attacked, and we keep quiet.
Dokolo District Woman Member of Parliament Cecilia Ogwal was concerned that social media was awash with information that could character assassinate the person of Deputy Speaker.
This tradition must stop. From the time of Specious Akazibwe, she was attacked. You bring it to Kadaga. You bring it now to Adite Among. No, why?
In the social media write-up, Anita is accused of corruption and grabbing property. This, however, has not in any way got her worried.
We know the people who are doing it, but you must stand firm. And we must take this country up to where we want it to be. I have my 10 years as a deputy and 10 as a speaker.
The mafias are still around. And if the mafias continue work in that form, and we just leave them move like that, tomorrow they will be on my leader of opposition.
Nothing will intimidate me. Nothing will deter me from doing whatever I'm doing. I am number 5 for 10 years.
Members of Parliament want the matter investigated.
If UCC can come out and tell us that the source, it began here, how it landed on social media, it began on this phone, on so and so, who sent it, then you will not see the same.
I want to appeal to those investigating to expedite the investigations and give the report so that we can get out of this and work.
Cecilia Ogwal says attacking women in Uganda's leadership should not be made a normal routine. Henry Okrut, UBC.
As we move over to the judiciary has called upon those who completed their trial in different courts to claim for their bail money. This was communicated by the Judiciary Chief Registrar Sarah Langa in Kampala. The judiciary has over 26 billion Ugandan shillings on its bank account as bail money, which is not claimed by those who have completed their trial in different courts.
For one to be released on bail by any court, they deposit a specified amount of money to court as directed by any presiding judge, registrar or magistrate in the matter. This money is refundable to the accused person at the end of the trial, although the public is not aware how to claim for this money. In the past 10 years, the judiciary has accumulated over 26 billion Ugandan shillings unclaimed bail money on its accounts.
You can imagine a whole 26 billion shillings is lying in an account over unclaimed bail deposits as well as security deposits from those who have used judicial services.
The Chief Registrar, Sarah Langa, explains steps to claim the money.
The person who applied and was granted bail must apply to the court that granted them bail in writing for a refund. That application must contain your name, full names. That application must contain your address and your telephone number. Most important, that application must contain your bank account details. Bail refund is refunded into the bank. So when you are the applicant, you must clearly state your account details which are in your names.
Sometimes bail money is non-refundable to any accused person.
Our request is let all those who have paid their bail deposits in court, who have faithfully attended their trials through the years, who have not forfeited because of abscondment or other reasons, please go ahead and file for your bail refund.
The Registrar High Court Samuel Emokol explains scenarios where the owner of the money is deceased and in the circumstances when one has lost original court documents.
If someone passes on, the estate of the deceased person has a right to apply for this money to be paid to the estate of the deceased.
This process takes a minimum of 7 days for one to acquire his or her bail money. But what happens when the accused deposits a land title in court as security?
What we need to note is that when a criminal matter has ended and there is an order for compensation, that compensation is handled through a civil process of execution. So when you are taken through the execution process and that money has to be recovered, and those who are looking for the money in terms of bailiffs are looking for where is your money, where is your property, there's no limit to the security that you deposited because this is your money.
Nantongo Rebecca, Namamonde Deborah, UBC News.
And in Entebbe, the Inspector General of Government, Betty Kamya, has directed Entebbe Municipal Council leadership to investigate circumstances under which 4 public pit latrines constructed by government have not been in operation for 2 years. She was attending the induction training of the new councillors where they launched a campaign to curb corruption.
Councillors representing different areas in Entebbe Municipal Council have attended the induction training aimed at improving service delivery. At the training, the Inspector General of Government, Betty Kamya Turiomwe, cautioned them against corruption.
Corruption is that expensive house which you live in, which your father cannot afford. Corruption is that lavish lifestyle, holidays abroad.
Councillors explained factors that force leaders to engage in corruption.
There was a disconnect between the victim and the oppressor. So now that is the gap that we are going to close.
They allege that the Contracts Committee of the Municipal Council handles government projects carelessly, citing public pit latrines that were constructed by the government 3 years back but not being used. The public pit latrines include Leisure Park, Chitoro, Children's Park, Bus Park, Nachiwogo, Chiwafu and Chiwafu Playground. This prompted the IGG to order for immediate investigations, find out if there was value for money.
So the 4 toilets here in Entebbe, that's what I'm going to set off immediately to follow it up, because I want to gain confidence of the people that the office of the IG is here really to connect with the people.
Today in history.
On 2nd November 1972, 4 Ugandan soldiers taken as prisoners of war during the 1971 fight between Uganda and Tanzania at Mutukula were handed over to Uganda. During the battle, Uganda captured 187 Tanzanian soldiers as prisoners, while Tanzania took 4 Ugandan soldiers. Sulaiman Amule, Ali Ramadhan, Ali Nasur, and Gala are the Ugandan prisoners of war that were handed over to Major Isaac Malia Mungu, the then acting commander of the 2nd Infantry.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
Wano tutandise ne meja ejjuddeko ebirungo ebya buli kakati njagala wekkaanyi kabaka yajja okuva ku sayidi omukimumbaasa akutte mu jjolo bano be bayita abakakujje wabula kyonna kyagenda okukola mukama yamanyi kagenda mu kaseera kano yajja bambi n'asooka akwata ebbakuli n'ateekamu buli kimu kyonna ky'omanyi ekiyitibwa ebirungo njagala wekkaanyi kakano bwebityo bwe badde ebyolwaleero eruda nga bagamba ngenda kusaba olindirire ekijjulo makeke bakabulaza bonna mubayite ne kabaka n'asemberera okkaggala mukama abankuumire.
Transact using Airtel Money. Use Airtel Money to send money, buy airtime for self, do mobile banking, make merchant payments and international money transfers with a minimum of 1,000 shillings and get 5 minutes free Airtel to Airtel calls valid for 24 hours. Free minutes offer is for any of these fast 5 transactions within the same calendar month. Terms and conditions apply. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Parents and guardians, this month of October, take all your children aged 15 years and below to the nearest health facility or outreach post for integrated child health days to receive a wide range of free services. The services will include immunization to protect them against killer yet vaccine-preventable diseases like measles, rubella, polio, diphtheria, whooping cough, pneumonia, meningitis, diarrhea, tetanus, hepatitis B, tuberculosis, and cancer of the cervix. Your child will also receive vitamin A and deworming tablets. Girls aged 10 years old and those who missed their second HPV vaccine dose will receive HPV vaccine to protect them against cancer of the cervix. Girls and women aged 15 to 49 years will also be immunized against tetanus and diphtheria. Due to polio outbreak in the region, every child under 5 years should be fully immunized as per the routine immunization schedule. Vaccines used for immunization are safe, effective and free and have been approved by the Ministry of Health and World Health Organization. Remember to follow all the COVID-19 prevention measures, including wearing a mask when in public, hand washing with water and soap, and keeping a distance of at least 2 meters from another person. Integrated Child Health Days, a healthy child, a happy family. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, World Health Organization, PATH, and partners.
Welcome back from that short break. Now, as we move on, Uganda is to compete in the 70th Miss World competition to be held in Puerto Rico in December 16th, this 2021. Elizabeth Bagaya is to hold Uganda's flag. Bagaya Miss Uganda 2021-2022 says the crown will be brought back to Uganda.
Elizabeth Bagaya will represent Uganda in the Miss World Pageant competition, the 70th edition in Puerto Rico. Elizabeth will carry Uganda's flag by merging the winner to brand Uganda a destination for tourism.
To go to Puerto Rico, first of all, to showcase how beautiful my country is and to bring the crown back home. So I'm very confident with the support that has been given to me by my country, by my family, by my friends, that I got this and I know we're going to bring the crown back home.
State Minister for Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Martin Mugaraba Hinduka told journalists at Uganda Media Center that the competition will be on the 16th December. He refuted allegations on cancellation of tickets for tourists entering Uganda.
We shall be in Fort Portal from the 5th to the 7th, trying to see how we send her off
to Puerto Rico so that she can bring the crown home. And there are hardly cancellations, by the way. I don't know, I saw someone making a press the other day that they are out of 10 visitors, 9 are cancelling, which is not true. Visitors are coming in every day. We even have the statistics. Yes, and things are getting better. I understand there is this challenge, but like I'm saying, health comes first and we can't do much. The beauty queens will be properly dressed, showcase the bit of Toro and the bit of Uganda, and all this will be captured, and there will be a formal 3-sit-down dinner that we hope will be a very beautiful occasion for the whole world to appreciate a bit of Uganda.
Elizabeth Bagaya was the first runner-up in the 2019-2020 Miss Uganda pageant, has been crowned the new interim Miss Uganda 2020-2021, replacing Olivia Nakakande. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
Well, thank you very much, the Irene Faith Nantongo. As we move ahead in another story, former Security Minister General Eli Tumwine has celebrated 40 years of liberated fine art at his home in Nakasero, Kampala. He says he uses writing skills and fine art to express peace and love for his country and Africa.
Guests, dignitaries and friends gathered to celebrate General Eli Tumwine's contribution towards Uganda's rich culture. Guests were able to get a glimpse of imagination, the wonder, in-depth creativity that lives in the mind of General Eli Tumwine.
He has worked, has done so well in every book he has written. He has done so well in every painting he has done. We had one in the Smart Partnership movement I have in London.
President Museveni talked about a fundamental change. This is one of the most fundamental changes. That you have soldiers, that you have a soldier. He's toting a gun, but he has remained in his element. He has not forgotten what defined him in the first instance. Every designer knows they cannot design anything successful unless they look at nature, because nature can never go wrong.
His writing skills and work is a mixture of traditional African antiquities created out of fabrics, colors, and woodwork that is totally African.
UPDF or NRA really put in your mind that you can defend yourself, against all evils, you can liberate your mind, and it gave me at least the liberation of liberating my capacity to be a commander, a leader, a mobilizer, and a person that could be trusted.
The launch of his new book, Liberated My Art Life, marked the occasion to celebrate his survival 40 years ago since 1981 NRA attack.
Today, the 1st of November 1981, God proved to me that he still saw, and up to now he's still seeing that I still have some work to do here. And really, I celebrate this life, that I am alive today, and it is another 40 years from then. You know, since 81, it is now 40 years.
General Tumwine says he lost his eye just because he wanted Ugandans, especially young people, to have peace in their country. Former Prime Minister Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, who was the guest of honor, applauded the Bushwa hero.
Contribute in terms of art and in terms of publications and books. Really, this is a great achievement by Uganda. And other countries will be quoting Uganda in terms of works of art. I don't think many other African countries have done what we are doing through the works of Ndugu Tumwine.
The book, Liberated My Art Life, highlights the life and achievements of General Eli Tumwine and the NRA revolution. Haruna Mtesa Sira, UBC News.
Congratulations to you. Now, lower local council leaders at village and parish level have been cautioned against approving land documents which can lead to illegal land evictions. State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Mpango, has cautioned local leaders as custodians of property at lower levels following an increase in land wrangles.
State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Mpango, has cautioned local council leaders at village and parish level against approving documents on any land transaction. The increasing land wrangles and evictions are fueled by unknowingly signing land transaction documents, resulting into evicting squatters without following procedure. This was contained in the speech read for Dr. Mpango to local council leaders under their umbrella Bamnanika Constituency Local Council Tool Leaders Association in the meeting at Kakola, read to him by his personal assistant in Bamnanika, Abdul Karim.
Nebaza nnyo basende ba LC2 musazali Bamnanika kubanga muine enjawulo mutukoze bulungi ensonga y'ettaka mubeera ku ludda lw'abantu era ekyo nsaba mwekubyeko begayirira nti omuntu yenna ayawukana ku bantu obuwangazi bwe butono ate emikisa gijja kuggwayo ddewa Katonda gwe kakutana n'oteeka peeni ku ttaka ly'owooli ne balitwala obuwangazi bwe tewali newa Katonda teweebalirayo.
Luwero district is among the districts with high cases of land wrangles in Buganda region because part of the land is located in the cattle corridor and is prime for agriculture. The Bamunanika Constituency Local Council Tool Leaders Association chairperson Haj Twaha Kavuma said the association needs a tractor to start commercial farming. Some local council leaders were happy with the developments in the area.
Ate buli we tumulabira atutwala ng'omwana atwonoonye nno nze ekyekyo kye nnina era abantu beewaffe mu kulonda kwe tuvaamu baasekanga bamanyi tugenda kusiiwuuka.
Ffe buli kye tutuukako tumanya nti kivudde Oweekitiibwa Dr. Mpango. Omuntu asobola okuwa essente ezijjuza ekisenge naye nga takuwadde magezi ziguggwako naye Oweekitiibwa Dr. yatuwa entanda.
Fred Kasibante, Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, in the area of vaccination for students, institutions of higher learning have dismissed information that they are making it mandatory for all students to present vaccination cards before accessing university premises. The State Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Bariomonsi, however, insists that both students and lecturers should be vaccinated for the safety of all.
Universities have dismissed reports that they are demanding vaccination cards before students enter into the university premises, saying they are receiving all students irrespective of their vaccination status, but encouraging them to go for vaccination.
No, we are receiving the students whether they have been vaccinated or not, because we are aware there is no comprehensive program for vaccination over the students yet. But I must say that we have done very well as far as vaccination of the members of staff is concerned, because they were a priority in the program, and we were able to do that very efficiently because we have our own university hospital. So the university hospital made arrangements to vaccinate all our staff. So most of our staff are already vaccinated. We are now just waiting for the program from the Ministry of Health as far as vaccination of the students is concerned.
All students are coming. All students are coming because people have been vaccinating, and they are. Every day when you go there, you'll find very many students vaccinating. So now that they are vaccinating, really let them vaccinate. Some of them have had their second jab, others have the first jab. Those who are in places where they didn't vaccinate, they are getting the first jab. And when the exercise is going on, we don't need to frustrate it. Let people first settle in, feel at home as they vaccinate.
Dr. Muganga Lawrence, the Vice-Chancellor, Victoria University, attests that whereas physical learning has been reopened, but the academic environment should take maximum caution to protect lives, and appeal to parents to serve as an example and encourage their children to go for vaccination.
But also we have an obligation to adhere to different procedures. We have to furnish the National Council with a plan that shows assures Ministry of Health, assures Ministry of Education, assures National Council for Higher Education of how this is going to be done such that we don't endanger our students, we don't endanger their families, the community where they come from. So, but I call upon the parents, those who are even hesitant to getting vaccinated, please get vaccinated. You are the role models to these students, your children. When you do something, they'll find it important to do it. When you refuse to be vaccinated, these students will also refuse to be vaccinated. We are not saying that the vaccine is a cure, but when you get infected with this pandemic, there is a chance that you're going to survive.
The Minister for ICT and National Guidance wants both students and teaching staff vaccinated.
We have been announcing for the last number of weeks and months that students, particularly university students and those in tertiary institutions, should go for vaccination before the university is open. That we shall not allow students, teachers, and workers in the universities and the tertiary institutions to come back for work or for studies unless they present proof that they have been vaccinated at least once. If you have been vaccinated once or you got a full dose, that's when you shall be accepted.
Currently, 3,189,173 Ugandans have been vaccinated against COVID-19. Sadam Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Luwero District Muslim Qadi Sheikh Ramadan Nsanja has advised religious leaders to lead the way if Uganda is to realize a fully COVID-19 vaccinated country. It was hosted at Luwero Muslim District Headquarters in Kasana, Luwero.
A COVID-19 vaccination camp for Luwero Muslim District Management has attracted county sheikhs, imams and the elderly. Luwero District Qadi Sheikh Ramadan Mulindo believes that religious leaders need to play a lead and exemplary role in order to interest the public to COVID-19 vaccination.
That's why we have been here today having a mass immunization to answer the call of the Ministry of Health and His Excellency the President to be leading by example to our people, because we preach to people, go for immunization, but again they will ask, have you immunized yourself? So we want to lead by example.
The camp was achieved in conjunction with Mild May Uganda and the local government health department.
We know that our communities listen to the faith leaders, they listen to their leaders, their spiritual leaders. So this is one of the most pertinent the angle through which we are working with the Ministry of Health to reach out to our people on key COVID-19 messages of hope.
Over 200 sheikhs, imams and the elderly, among others, were vaccinated at the one-day COVID-19 vaccination exercise.
It's time for us to take a short break, but do not go away. We will return with more news.
Everyone is talking about MTN shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares, and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account, or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID, and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Pay bills using Airtel Money. Make any bill payment within a month with a minimum of 5,000 Uganda shillings and get 10 minutes free Airtel to Airtel calls valid for 24 hours. Dial *185*4# or use the My Airtel app to pay for water, buy yaka, pay TV, and so much more. Terms and conditions apply. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. It's time for us to look at what's happening in the world of business. Now, issues to do with the expressway. Minister for Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala, has launched the first engagement on commencing of tolling on Entebbe Express Highway. The official tolling of the road will commence on the 1st of January 2022.
In 2018, the construction of Entebbe Expressway was completed. However, there was delay in enacting tolling legislation, and UNRA could not commence operations. The Road Act provides for toll fees for each vehicle class commuting on Entebbe Expressway. The Ministry of Works and Transport has launched the first engagement and tolling fees to be paid by road users operating along the expressway starting January 2022. Bikes with a speed limit of 400cc shall remit 3,000 shillings for road usage, while light vehicles to heavy duties shall range from 5,000 shillings to 18,000 shillings. Minister General Edward Katumba Wamala confirms tolling fees on expressway shall be collected by AGC company for about 5 years to set about $476 million loan acquired by Uganda from Exim Bank of China.
Tulina katinga abadigizi nenene siwisa 13 kati bobona ne moroka entono ipsam na zine entono endala 15 kati boboli na medium goods zine katinga zine zitwala ebyenyanja obutono tono obutwala ebyenyanja obutwala fresh foods ezakusasula omutwalo gumu.
Minister confirms discounts shall be enforced to frequent users of expressway and those using e-transactions for toll fees. General Katumba says only the presidential fleet, police patrols, rescue commuting vehicles and ambulances will be exempted from the toll fees.
Kezikirizibwa okuyita mu toll gate nga tezisasudde fire brigade, ambulance ne convoy ya president. Kakati fe ba minister abadde tuyisaawo bara DC adde bayisaawo ne flag members of parliament
UNA and the AGC shall educate the public on operationalization of expressway. I'm Ivan Juko, reporting for UBC News.
Singa omuntu afuna accident.
Still in business, a group of youthful creatives and innovators in Kampala have transformed a container cargo into a modern safari cottage. Prosper Biamungo, the brains behind the innovation, believes Uganda's hospitality industry can reap big through building sustainable products and solutions to deliver multiple benefits and quality experience.
The race to attain a sustainable green economy and reduce social impact on the environment is driving innovation. This container house that is being showcased at Motive in industrial area Kampala is revolutionary.
They can be used anywhere. The idea is that you would then just change a few elements about it depending on where they are going to go. If it's going in a very extremely hot place, you deal with insulation a lot better than just putting in the internal rock wall. You have to also insulate it from the outside. You also have to be able to see that you may need a roof over it. In places where it rains so much, you need a roof because then you can do rainwater collection.
The container safari cottage is a new development in Uganda's hospitality industry. From the exterior, it looks somehow like a normal 20-feet container.
It's best to sit down with people who actually understand what you're trying to build. And please just work with architects. Don't keep walking around them and saying, me, I have a plan, I got it off the internet. An internet plan is based on costing in a whole different country. You get it and bring it here and then try to fit everything within that. It's not the same thing.
With the right technology and creativity, Uganda's tourism industry can help build resilient, sustainable, inclusive economies and societies, argues Amos Okesa, a renowned local tourism investor.
We're also very careful as a business because we've seen, I operate in Queen Elizabeth National Park, I have seen 1 or 2, 3 lodges burn, and what we've done is actually planted trees. It's actually very good for the environment, but also good for shielding the properties from burning. But at the same time, this again gives us better chances if fire comes. This container will still be there. You just have to make a few adjustments and you go back into business.
According to Prosper Biamungo, the team lead at Brown Street Build, the aim of adopting this model is to raise tourism scene through sustainable design and use of cost-effective technologies without compromising the quality of experience for the tourists and travelers. As it is commonly said, innovation is the mother of creation. This 40-feet container has been prefabricated into a modern safari cottage. It can be deployed anywhere across the country. Dennis Igoa for UBC News in Kampala.
True innovation. Thank you very much there, Dennis Sigoa. Now over to coffee. The National Drug Authority has warned the public against using M Magic's coffee that is circulating on Ugandan market. This follows a laboratory analysis of the M Magic's coffee samples from the market, and results confirmed that the product contains sildenafil citrate. Denise Mwesigwa, the Director, Inspectorate Enforcement National Drug Authority, says this type of citrate is a drug for erectile dysfunction, which must be prescribed by qualified medical personnel.
Using M Magic's coffee, and NDA hereby directs all pharmacies, drug shops, supermarkets and other general merchandise shops to stop sale or stocking of this product. NDA has directed the importer of M Magic's coffee to stop importation and recall all the supplied batches of this product with immediate effect. We call upon the public to be vigilant and report all suspicious products on the market that could be adulterated to NDA on a toll-free line, which is 0800 101 and 999. I repeat the number, 0800 101 999. We are working with other government agencies like UNBS. We have informed them because we don't control food. This is a coffee.
Turning to sports, Uganda will this Thursday host the Queen's Baton Relay, which is a once in 4 years activity that precedes the Commonwealth Games. The baton will move through all 72 nations and territories of all the Commonwealth purposely to promote unity.
The Queen's Baton Relay is a tradition that celebrates, connects and excites communities from across the Commonwealth during the build-up to the Commonwealth Games. It has already been to 8 nations including Cyprus, Malta and Ghana, and arrives in Uganda this Thursday.
Here really is to use this opportunity when the baton is here to shine light on the baton but also on the values of the Commonwealth as well as the upcoming games.
It carries a message from the Queen that will be read out at the opening ceremony of the Games in Birmingham on 28th July 2022.
The special strength of our Commonwealth family lies in the values and aspirations of the Commonwealth Charter. And Birmingham 2022 will bring together all the equal and independent Commonwealth countries in a spirit of friendly competition and celebration of the Commonwealth family's rich diversity and shared goals of democracy, development and peace.
When in Uganda, the baton will visit State House, Parliament and Ngamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary, among others.
We also have a guided tour at the Uganda Wildlife Education Center, OWEC, in Entebbe, and then some other activities along the equator, which is also part of promoting Uganda and what we have.
Uganda has taken part in the Games since 1954 and collected 16 gold and silver medals, with the 21 bronze medals bringing the total collection to 53. Athletics and boxing have been responsible for the joy and will again lead the cast of other sports disciplines at the Games next year. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Now, about Sekafa women, 5 Eritrean players have disappeared from their hotel in Jinja. The players were part of the Sekafa Under-20 women tournament ongoing at the Technical Center in Jero. Speaking to the Sekafa spokesperson Rogers Mulindwa, police and other agencies are doing what it takes to bring the girls back.
Okay, the incident happened in the night. When these players, actually, we suspect they must have jumped over the walls. And I think they also took advantage of some laxity in the guards around. And then they disappeared. So by the time the rest of the teammates woke up, I think some members were missing. But the matter has been brought to the attention of the security agencies in Jinja. And as the FUFA, the conveners of this event, and Sekafa, we are trying to pass on all the information that could help the security agencies to get or to trace these players for that matter. We are very optimistic that we shall get them. This is not the first time they are doing this. Perhaps we only thought these being girls wouldn't disappear. But even the other time the boys tried to disappear, but we are able to get them. So we have notified the embassy to help us. And we want to sound a warning to whoever is keeping these girls, whether in Kampala or Jinja or in other part of the country, that you are taking a big risk.
We pray that they are found. Now, in the dancing sport, Uganda Dance Sport Federation has hosted its Northern Region Breaking for Gold Championship at Muni University in Arua District. Let's hear more in this report.
The road to the 2024 Paris Olympics for Uganda Dance Sport Federation has continued with the Northern Regional Qualifier. The bigger picture at such qualifiers is to eye a place at the World Championships in France, but importantly to garner qualification points for the France 2024 Olympics.
We had 8 regions for the Breaking for God qualifiers, and the finals will be in France, Paris.
Attracted 8 participants. Ultimately, Philip Favor and Nsamba Yamungu emerged triumphant and will thus contest in the national championship.
My weakness of break of today, I've been on training and I've been sick and we have been not like believing this thing can well come in West Nile, you understand? But right now I feel very happy this thing came. Though we didn't do training much, but we have tried our best to get what you want. But starting from today, actually now, we are going to train hard to make Uganda to be perfect.
The national championship due this week will be hosted at St. Mark's College Namagoma, with the best to represent Uganda in France in December at the World Championship. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Uganda Cranes striker Fahad Bayo has headlined the October 4th Bet Real Star Awards that were hosted at Route 256 in Kampala. The striker propelled Uganda to home and away victories over Rwanda in the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. Since 2018, the 40-bet Real Star Awards have become a norm, and even after COVID-19 have continued to excite.
The spirit upon which these awards were started was to motivate, reward and motivate the sportsmen and women, and this goes a long way in improving their performances and everything, because awards have proved to do that over time. So we appreciate them and we wish them the best. I hope they can grow this further. The more they grow it, the more motivation in the sports fraternity, and that entirely gives us a platform to grow the sports fraternity as a whole.
The latest has been during the October award ceremony at Route 256 in Lugogo, where athletes from 5 disciplines have been awarded. These included a Uganda Cranes striker Fahad Bayo for scoring twice in Uganda's double victory over Rwanda in a World Cup qualifier last month.
Well, Fahad Bayo scores the first goal for Micho.
Others awarded were Cobb's Rugby Club player Joseph Aredo, whose team is in top form in the Sevens rugby tournament. Lady golfer Irene Nakalembe was also honored, alongside under-19 cricket captain Pasco Mulungi and tennis youngster Abdulatif Sendiowa.
It means a lot to me and, of course, to my teammates, because we support ourselves. I, having been maybe the most valuable player of the tournament in under-19, so it means a lot and it motivates everyone. And I only have to encourage whoever has not achieved to keep on trying.
John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Now, before we do the sign out, it's time for us to see how the weather has forecasted by Juliet Alituvera.
Today's weather report, I'm Alituvera Juliet. Today morning we've had sunny intervals in most parts of our country, though areas around Lake Victoria Basin, the western and southwestern Uganda have had showers. Later in the afternoon we had a pickup of isolated thunder showers and cloudy conditions in most parts of Uganda. The rainfall report received by 9 a.m. this morning, it indicates that Kampala reported 8.2 millimeters, Kabale reported 5.1 millimeters, whereas Entebbe reported 2.4 millimeters of rainfall. From the satellite image taken over Africa, it indicates that the rain belt has moved southwards, and this is due to the existence of low pressure centers over South Africa, and this has led to the wet activities which are being experienced in different parts of Uganda. And there is an enhancement of Congo air mass, which is also pushing in moist winds, leading to the wet activities in the western, southwestern and some parts of central Uganda. Tomorrow morning we are expecting light rains for areas within southern sector of Uganda, some parts of central and western. Elsewhere we shall have sunny intervals. Later in the afternoon we are expecting a pickup of thunder showers in most parts of Uganda, apart from some areas in the eastern and northeastern Uganda where we are expecting sunny intervals. The maximum temperatures will rise to 31 degrees centigrade for the Karamoja region, the northern 30 degrees centigrade. Around the lake, we have a range of 27 to 28 degrees centigrade. In Kasese, 29 degrees are expected, and elsewhere in southwestern Uganda, temperature of 23 is expected. Elsewhere on the globe, we are expecting showers in Nairobi and Moscow at a maximum of just 7 degrees centigrade. For Moscow, Dubai, sunny conditions are expected and a maximum of 36 degrees centigrade, whereas Paris and London will have cloudy conditions and the maximum temperatures in these two cities, we are expecting it to be at 11 degrees centigrade. Thank you for keeping us company. Join us tomorrow for another edition of the Weather Report. Have a wonderful night.
Well, thank you very much there, Juliet Arituvera. Right now, let's have the recap on our headlines.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Top stories: Uganda to carry out COVID-19 clinical trials next year. Makerere University has a program for students to appear for classes. And on the international scene, China urges families to keep stocks of daily necessities ahead of winter. And in sports Commonwealth Games, Uganda is ready to receive Queen's baton.
Was brought to you by Everywhere You Go, MTN.
Thank you very much for keeping us company. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango and Elizabeth Nakakuni on sign language. From the entire team, it's a good night, but stay tuned.
The program lineup on UBC.
Brought to you by Roofings, Strength of a Nation. Brought to you by introducing the all-new Roofings TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend surfaces. Roofings, Strength of a Nation.
What do you do when you find children that are drinking lake water? What do you do when you find there's a building but no students? What do you do when you find students seated under a tree because of their need for education? Welcome to the Rotary Moment Show.
Sekabusolo and Buvi are one of the most promising growing villages found in Busiro 1, South Kasanje Town Council in Wakiso District. However, the rapid community growth is as a result of several human activities with more environmental hazards than economic benefits.
This area previously